Last week on the Cow-Calf Corner, we visited with you about the long-term effects of a baby calf getting that passive immunity early in life. Today, we want to spend a little more time discussing the importance of that happening within the first few hours of life. You need to understand that a baby calf is born with an immune system, but it's just not producing any antibodies to give him some disease protection to those pathogens that he might become exposed to. The only disease protection he's going to get is that he gets from his mother's first milk or colostrum, or perhaps from a colostrum replacer that you have to give that baby calf in the case of one that doesn't nurse in time. The reason the timing is so very important is because the lining of the intestine of that baby calf has some cells on it called absorptive cells. They absorb those very large proteins, the immunoglobulins or the antibodies that are coming from the colostrum. Those cells slough off rather quickly after the calf is born. In fact, if you look at this particular graphic, you can get an idea that by the time a calf is 6 hours of age, his ability to absorb those large antibodies is down to only about 67%. And by the time the calf is a full day old, quite frankly, it's virtually negligible, the percentage of those large antibodies that he can absorb. You see, as that calf goes through those first few hours of life and he's losing those cells from his gut, and this all occurs naturally, then his ability to absorb the antibodies is also going down. You also want to remember that the first things that he ingests will also increase the loss of those absorbing cells. For instance, if we decide to give that baby calf some whole milk as the first thing he ever gets to drink or eat, that will increase the loss of those cells and therefore decrease his ability to absorb the antibodies. That's why it's so important that the first meal that baby calf receives is colostrum, or is one of the colostrum replacers that has those antibodies in it that gives him the ability to get that into his bloodstream and get some passive immunity. Then after that, we want to come back with a second dose about 12 hours later if we're needing to hand feed the calf, so that we get as much of those antibodies into him in the first two feedings as possible. I hope this helps you understand a little more of why we say that first 6 hours is so important for that baby calf to get the colostrum and those antibodies that he needs to get some disease protection that'll help him not only fend off something like calf diarrhea in the first few weeks of life, but also then appears to be helpful to him in terms of fending off diseases all the way through his productive lifetime. Hey, we look forward to visiting with you again next week on Sunup's Cow-Calf Corner.